Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the state of Maine is still continuing to allow boys to compete in women's sports, allowing boys to compete against girls and to absolutely dominate. This is despite Trump's executive order. This is despite the threat of them losing their federal funding. Now, the Trump administration has posed several sanctions on the state of Maine, but they had a little victory recently that Janet Mills was very smug about.
Well, listen, a few months ago, I stood in the White House, and when confronted by the President of the United States, I told him I'd see him in court. Well, I did see him in court, and we won. I am so pleased to say that Aaron Fry's able representation of the state of Maine has resulted in a binding agreement by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins and all of her staff, whereby they agree to refrain from freezing, terminating, or otherwise interfering with the state of Maine's access to USDA funds allocated to any official or agency or department of the state of Maine based on alleged violations of Title IX. These bullying tactics, we will not tolerate them. Nobody in this country should tolerate them. You don't appease bullies. They never stop.
So Maine filed a lawsuit against the federal government. An injunction was sought against this freezing of this element of federal funding. And in return for Maine's dropping its lawsuit, the USDA agreed to lift its freeze on $3 million of funding. Multiple sources reported the settlement appears to bring an end to one of multiple sanctions the federal government has imposed on Maine in recent months for refusing to comply anti-discrimination requirements in education. The US Department of Justice civil action against Maine's Department of Education over the same question remains in effect, and this continues to be a developing story. So she's claiming victory because they did get back that $3 million of federal funding from the Department of Agriculture.
The USDA and the state of Maine have settled a dispute over Title IX out of court. The state filed a lawsuit against the USDA over a plan to withhold funding for nutrition programs for schools and child care centers. The USDA had planned to freeze that funding because they claimed Maine violated Title IX by allowing transgender athletes to compete in girls and women's sports. A federal judge ordered the Trump administration to unfreeze those funds last month. Today, the Maine Attorney General's office announced the settlement, saying that the federal judge's decision made it, quote, crystal clear that Maine was extremely likely to win if this case went to court. Governor Janet Mills and Attorney General Aaron Fry spoke a short time ago, calling this a win for the state over the Trump administration.
We believe in the rule of law.
So it's interesting, she's talking about standing up to bullies, and the young girls in the state of Maine feel like they're being bullied. They're being forced to compete against boys. They're being forced to be in situations like this.
Careful, Ollie. You got this. Looking strong. Let's go.
Watch the expression on the face of the first place girl, Lila Connor, after she crosses the finish line in the 800-meter race and is consoled by teammates. When will this state-sanctioned CA end, Governor Janet Mills? The girls are being gaslit and silenced, and the boys are being lied to about biological reality. The state of Maine continues to defy President Donald Trump's executive order that bans males, whether they identify as girls and women or not, from competing in female sports, and, in the state, males continue to win girls' competitions. On Friday, Soren Stark-Chessa won both the 800-metre and the 1600-metre races at an event in Hiram, Maine, finishing the latter nearly 20 seconds ahead of the next closest competitor. The 800-metre race was much closer, with Lila Connor falling short of her male competitor by 1.5 seconds. In a video of that race, Connor is seen shaking her head after coming in second place to a male athlete racing against girls. Had Stark-Chessa competed in the boys category, which would be the correct category since Stark-Chessa is male, the athlete would have finished in 12th place in the 1600-metre race and 8th in the 800-metre. And this male athlete is actually a state champion. So this person has won multiple races in the women's competition. The runner won the 800-metre at the Maine Principals Association Class C Girls Outdoor Track and Field State Championship. And in 2022-2023, this person competed on the boys' teams. It's really insulting when someone goes over from the boys' team to the girls' team and the girls are told that it's perfectly fair and they can't complain. And they're even told that this person is now a girl. Absolute lunacy. So last month, there was a lawsuit filed by the federal government.
Today, the Department of Justice is announcing a civil lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education. The state of Maine is discriminating against women by failing to protect women in women's sports. Pretty basic stuff. This is a violation of Title IX. The Department of Justice will not sit by when women are discriminated against in sports. This is about sports. This is also about these young women's personal safety. I've met many of these women throughout the past weeks and months, and what they have been through is horrific.
So we await the result of that lawsuit. There have been some victories, as we've seen here, with the Maine governor looking very smug and not showing much empathy for the girls who continue to have to deal with this, not listening to their concerns and ignoring them as they plead for her to do the right thing.
My first experience was when I was 13 years old. I was going to change for gym, and I walked into the locker room, and there was a biological male there. From that point on, my junior year, I competed in Nordic skiing and lost to a biological male numerous of times. I am fighting this fight for generations to come. And the fact that our governor can look the women of our state in the eyes and say, I'm not going to fight for you, is heartbreaking, and it's betrayal, like Riley said. I just want to thank all these women standing behind me and President Trump for fighting for us, because even though my own governor isn't fighting for me, I know there are people out there fighting for me.
So I compete in soccer and indoor track and outdoor track. And like was mentioned previously today, I had to watch at the Maine Class B State Indoor Track Championship as my close friend and my teammate and other female competitors lost the state championship to a biological male. And this was heartbreaking for me to have to watch. And Riley said that it's betrayal, and that's what it is. It is the job of our elected officials to protect our young female athletes, and they have failed to do that. We walk into sports expecting to have a level playing field, and to walk into the state championship to see a biological male there and to lose to a biological male, that's betrayal. And so I am extremely grateful to AG Bondi for standing up for us when our elected officials aren't doing that. And on behalf of the girl athletes in Maine, I just want to say thank you all, and I look forward to having a level playing field back after this fight. So thank you.
So I guarantee you it's the women and girls of Maine who feel like they are being bullied. They are being told that they have to compete against boys against their will. They're being told that it's okay for boys to enter into their locker rooms, for their private spaces to be removed. They are the ones who are being bullied. And the governor doesn't seem to care much. The governor considers it a victory to continue to perpetuate injustice against women and girls. We have a governor who thinks that gender ideology is more important than the safety of these young women than fairness in sports for these young women, more important than female athletes having a level playing field, which is something that Title IX sought to give them. So Miss Mills can be as smug as she wants to be, but she will go down in history as the governor that perpetuated this against women and girls in her own state. The governor that ignored the pleas of women and girls to be allowed to compete fairly in sports. The governor that can sit back and allow girls to quote unquote lose to boys, can sit back and watch these young women have state championships taken away from them, victories taken away from them, medals taken away from them, and even just the spot at a certain event, at a certain competition, taken away from them because their spot was taken by a male athlete. Absolutely unacceptable. She has nothing to be smiling about. Some people are even questioning if she is actually a she. Because why would she be so invested in allowing this to continue and going against the wishes of her own constituents? So Mills was re-elected in 2022. Big mistake if you ask me. So this is actually her last term. So thank goodness she's leaving in 2026. But apparently she hasn't ruled out running for another position, such as running for senator and challenging Senator Susan Collins. But as Trump said,
and enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.